Hi, this is Scott Bach-Hansen, Camp Director for the Steve Gordon Basketball Officials Camp. And I've created this staff video because it's pretty much impossible to have any type of staff meeting or pre-meeting before the camp. So I want to make sure that for our staff, especially our new staff members, they have an understanding and expectation of what we're getting ready for in the next week. So we're going to talk about how we got here, what our camp mission is, the layout, talk about the 2 sessions, and then, our focus areas for teaching and about this year's camp and some of the guest speakers that we have. So the main focus on how we got here is this is a great camp that was run for many years by VHSL, and Jimmy Jones was the director of the camp and did such a great job laying down the foundation for this camp. But when VHSL decided to get out of the camp business a few years ago, well, I think we quickly learned that there was a void that was created as an example for having a true high school teaching camp. And so we've looked at the proven system that we use, and we created the camp in conjunction with Steve to make sure that we had a camp that focused in on teaching and development of officials for 3-person. So the main thing for us with this is that we wanted to take this camp to a bigger audience and be able to show that there's an opportunity for our officials to still have a camp that they can be comfortable in and learning the 3-person aspects of officiating. So the camp mission, and this comes from Steve himself, our focus will be on delivering a great learning experience for officials that are interested in learning how to officiate using 3-person mechanics and fundamentals with a staff that has a heart for teaching and development. So, again, the focus is on National Federation 3-person mechanics. We're not looking at NCAA. We're not looking at NBA. We're not even looking at IBO. IBO manual has a few different things in there, different from the National Federation, and so that is a key thing that we're going to really focus on the National Federation stuff. So we want to have a staff that's truly focused on each camper's development. We're going to have campers that are rec rated or recreation only level. And then we're going to have varsity officials, and then everything in between. So everybody's going to be different, but we want to make sure we have the same consistent message from the teaching aspect. Also, having a camp that focuses on the officiating fundamentals. So it's not just the positioning and the 3-person stuff, but it's also understanding consistency and how to communicate with coaches and game management. So there's also the officiating fundamentals that are mixed in as well. We also want to focus on having great guest speakers and clinicians, and to provide video of each game for each camper that is something they can take home. So the layout and the setup of the camp, 2 sessions, Friday and Saturday or Sunday and Monday. We want to keep that intact for a few reasons. One is it's hard enough to keep people away from their families. To have them be away for more than one night we thought was unrealistic in this environment. Number 2, having to take off work for more than one day would be difficult for most people. So we wanted to keep that intact. And then the last thing is cost effective. We're not here to make money. We've never really, we haven't made money at this camp, but we're not trying to make money at this camp. We're trying to break even. Even if we have a couple $100 that we can put in the bank account for next year's camp, then that's great. But for the first few years that we've been involved in this, we've never deposited a check in our bank accounts as a result of this camp. So nobody's made any money. We're here out of just the basics of wanting to get back, and so that's a focus area for us. As far as for you guys as the staff, all your meals and your room is paid for. We flip that bill. The dorm room and all the meals are included. For however long you're there. If you're there for 3 nights, like a few of us are, then we'll pay for your room all 3 nights, and you get your food all 3 days. So, or all 4 days. So you're covered. The other thing is that we want to make sure that you're understanding that you might want to bring an air mattress, your own sheets, bring a towel if you need to shower. And then, you might want to bring a fan. I don't know how great the ventilation is or AC is. If it even exists in the dorm rooms. But I think it's something that, you just want to be prepared for. The games are going to be held on 4 courts. The Crenshaw Gym, which is the main gym, will have 1 court, and then the Brock Recreation Center will have 3 courts. So each court will have a minimum of 2 evaluators on their court. One evaluator will be mic'd up, and then the other one will be on the court helping those in the places. If we can get more than 2 evaluators there, that's great. But we're really going to focus on a minimum of 2. So also, if you're a new staff member, we won't have you set up with 2 staff members that are brand new. We're going to have you set up with somebody that has been through the staff before us, understands how we do things, some of the languages that we use, how the conversations go, so that you get a good grasp of what we're doing, and that it makes things easier. We don't throw you out there to the wolves. A little bit different this year, especially for our returning staff members. The goal, if we can make this happen, depending on coverage, is that in the 4-game set. So if you're doing game 1, you'll take that crew after the game. You'll pass the mic off to the next set of evaluators that are doing game 2. But for game 1, you will take them off to the side, and you'll have a conversation with them, and post game, answer any questions for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then let them go because they have another game that they have to get to. And there's not a lot of time in between games, so we don't want to spend too much time with them. Just 10 or 15 minutes at the most, answer questions, let them go on to their next game so that they're not going to be late, and that way they can get something to drink, they can stop by the restroom, they can get a snack, whatever they need to do. And so then you'll come back for the 3rd game, and you'll be back on the court for the 3rd game. So at least that's the plan that we have today. At Crenshaw, just so you're aware, there's if you're mic'd up, you are in the crow's nest. The crow's nest is the press box above the court, so you'll have one evaluator up there, and our goal is to have 2 on-court evaluators that are not mic'd up to make it a little bit easier from a standpoint of just making sure that we have coverage. And if you haven't been to Randolph-Macon before, all of our meetings are located in Crenshaw upstairs. We have our own room up there that is where we do all our classrooms and our meetings. So the focus training areas, basic fundamentals of positioning, rotations, and switches, and getting angles are the 3 most talked about things. And we'll get into press coverage, out of bounds spots, line responsibilities, throwing responsibilities. 3-person mechanics to trail chops the clock on a lead throw in, doubling the sideline, lead positioning on a throw in, either outside in or inside out. Stepping down a center and trail on rebounding plays, and then making sure the center runs with the pack, and a few other things. But it's a lot of the basic stuff that's very basic to us, but may not be as basic to those that are attending the camp. Our special invited guests for the camps this year, we have Roger Ayers coming in. I know that he'll be there Friday night, and he'll be our guest speaker at our pizza party Friday night. Tim Comer, also from the ACC, is coming in. Brian Kersey, the supervisor of officials and part of the Alliance, who has probably most of the East Coast covered as far as officiating, supervising goes. Curtis Blair from the NBA and from Richmond will be coming in. And then Debbie Williamson is tentative. She's told us, if I can make it, I'll be there. And, she's being pulled in a lot of different directions, and she's going to do everything she can to be there. But if she walks in, we just told her, whenever you walk in, we'll use you. So hopefully she'll be able to be there. And obviously Jimmy Jones, is really the founding father of this camp and the way it is today. He set the foundation for us. And so we're excited to make sure that Jimmy's there. Plus, we also have Cecil Hurst, who's a retired commissioner and VHSL Hall of Famer, but he's also one of the state evaluators now. So when Jimmy retired from doing the state evaluations, Cecil Hurst is doing that, and also Don Gatz is doing that. And so they've both been invited, as well as many others, including a lot of our commissioners from around the state. So, but I think the main thing for us is that I wanted to take this 10 minutes just to kind of give you some overview. I'm sorry, it's just I'm talking fast, but I wanted to make sure you got hit with some important points. The key thing, I think, and I think we'll say this for Steve as well. I'm sure that he would share this as well. We know how important it is to have you guys come, and it's not easy to leave the family at home and come to a place where you're not making any money, spend a few hours or maybe even an overnight, and give up your time. So we really appreciate the fact that you're willing to do it. We look forward to having you there. We want you to travel safe, and we look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. So thanks so much. Travel safe, and we'll see you soon.